Hey there, and welcome to Journey to Self with Sandy Bartlett. I'm Sandy, your host, and this is the podcast for women ready to embrace their second spring and reconnect with who they really are. Each episode will kick things off with an intuitive moment. I'll pull either a tarot or oracle card to set the vibe for our conversation. Then we'll jump into the soul dive where I'll share stories, tips, and a few aha moments to help you along your self discovery journey. You'll get a chance for some personal reflection during our inner reflection segment. And finally, I'll leave you with a bit of whispers of wisdom and an empowerment action, something small you can do right away to move forward on your path. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's walk this journey together, getting you one step closer to your most authentic self. Today is episode 3, and we will be talking about 5 proven steps for women to reclaim their inner voice and rediscover authenticity. So, before we dive into that, let's start with our intuitive moment. And today I decided to use my Oracle of the Fairies. It's a fun, playful deck. I pulled the Come Together card from the Oracle of the Fairies. It's a beautiful, beautiful reminder that we don't have to walk this journey of rediscovering our voice alone. So here's the card. And for those of you that are listening that can't see the card, this is a beautiful deck. It's a group of fairies that are working together. This come together card shows us that many hands make light work. And maybe you've heard that phrase before. It's true. It makes light work. And by working together, we can achieve so much more. Reclaiming your authentic self doesn't have to be a solitary process. Whether it's leaning on friends, mentors, coach, or supportive communities, collaboration can make the path feel lighter and more empowering. So, as we explore the 5 steps to reclaiming your inner voice, remember that asking for help or connecting with others who share your journey can amplify your progress. So, let's dive into how you can start living from a place of truth while embracing the support of those around you. So, our soul dive today, I'm going to provide you with a step by step guide for reclaiming your inner voice. Step 1 is to recognize where you lost your voice. Think about the last time you said yes when you really wanted to say no. Recognizing these moments is the first step toward reclaiming your voice. And trust me, I used to do this all the time. If you've been around for a minute or two, you've heard me talk about feeling like a chameleon and saying yes because I didn't want to disappoint anybody. And a lot of that really comes from a past trauma. And through my training that I'm taking right now to become a certified trauma energetics coach, I am learning about my own. At the time, I didn't until recently consider it trauma, but it truly is. And we all have all those things that happen when we were children, and it can start in utero. But that trauma is what starts that process where we want to please other people and we don't want to upset anybody. So we just say yes to making our own self miserable because we don't want to upset somebody else. So we're always looking to take care of others. But this is a time to start looking at and taking care of who you are and what you need. So think about the last time you said yes when you really wanted to say no. Step 2 is to reflect on what matters to you. So ask yourself, what did you love doing as a child or a teenager? What sparked joy? What sparks joy in your life today? Really spend some time first thinking about what did you love doing as a child or a teenager, and now what sparks joy in your life today. Reconnecting with these things will help you discover your authentic self. You probably heard me share, and if you've listened to the other episodes, in the very first episode, I talked about how after my first husband decided that he didn't want to be married anymore, and I went somewhere and I was asked, what did I like to do? And I had no clue what to say because I had lost touch with my own identity and my authentic self. So I spent probably the next, I'm going to say 11 years, give or take, really trying to figure out what did I enjoy doing? And I'm still working on that because we go through phases, we go through cycles where we do lose touch with our authentic self and we forget those things because life happens, right? We get busy working, we get busy with the kids and all their events and we don't stop and take the time for ourselves. So I'm giving you permission right now to do that. Spend some time. Even if you have to do it in the bathroom by yourself, where you can really, really reflect and think about what truly brings you joy. And if you don't come with anything right away, that's okay. It'll come to you. Ask for divine guidance. I do that all the time. Ask for divine guidance. It may not come immediately. It might happen. You might be watching a show or something, and all of a sudden a thought pops in. Pick up your phone and put it in your notes or keep a journal nearby so you can write those things down. So, reflecting on what matters to you is step 2 so that you can really get back to what sparks joy, and that will help you rediscover your authentic self. Step 3 is to set small boundaries. Start by saying no to one thing this week that doesn't align with your values or your priorities. It can be here's an easy thing. Not too many people probably go to malls anymore. I know there's really not much of one here where I live, but if you're out and about even if it's at Costco or Sam's Club, you have sales representatives that want trying to get your attention, buy this or here, let me show you this demonstration. Start by saying no to them to build that muscle of saying no. Start by saying no to one thing. And it's okay if you take some time, if somebody asks you to do something, say, "Oh, I'll get back to you." And really think about, don't let your no's or even your yeses be automatic. Really think about whether or not you want to say no or yes. So set those small boundaries. It's okay to take time and start small. Perfectly okay to start small. Okay, so step 4 in this 5 steps is to practice speaking up. I'm going to encourage you to practice expressing your opinions or your needs in a safe environment. It can be as simple as speaking up in a meeting or sharing your thoughts with a friend. Small steps lead to big changes. When I was going through my coaching program, one of the phrases that they used, and I've used it before, is little hinges swing big doors. And if you think about it, when you look at a door, I'm looking at my doors right now, there's 4 hinges on the door. And there you think, how can that hold up that massive door? And really what that saying is all about is that whole notion of small steps leading to big changes. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be huge. Take small steps. So start with somebody that makes you feel safe and express what you're going through. I guarantee you'll be surprised by the response that you get. I can't tell you how many times I have, I'm losing the word, not belabored, but agonized, whatever word comes up, spinning a story in my head over how somebody, whether it's my spouse or a boss or a coworker or whoever, but how somebody is going to react to what I say. And I invariably, 9 times out of 10, I would venture to guess, the reaction is so much different and much less than what I have built it up to be in my mind. So start small and with somebody safe and practice using that muscle of speaking up. And step 5 is to celebrate your progress. It's so important to celebrate the moments when you honor your true voice. No, again, no matter how small. Every time you choose your authentic self, you're taking a step closer to living in alignment with who you truly are. And celebrate that. And celebrating it can be writing it down in your journal or in your notes app on your phone, whatever method you like to use that you'll actually do. Celebrate it, track it. It's important. I have a friend that every time I have shared something with her, an accomplishment or whatever, the first thing she asks me is, "And how are you going to celebrate?" So I've gotten better at that because now I do think about how I'm gonna celebrate. In my planner that I use, there's a place for me to put, like, a monthly at the beginning of every month, like, my goal for the month, what I wanna focus on. And there's a place to put what my reward is, how I'm gonna celebrate it, and I love that about that planner. And so I can't encourage you enough to celebrate the progress. I have actually when I have felt like I haven't done much, early on in my business, I thought, gosh, I haven't really done much. And I took the time and I wrote down like all the different things I had created and workshops I'd given and freebies I developed and all that. And I amazed myself because I ended up filling a whole page and realized, oh my gosh, I've done so much more than I realized. So that's why I encourage you to write those things down, keep an ongoing list, because then when you're feeling like you haven't done enough or you're feeling small or that that you haven't used your voice, you can go back and look at this list and remind yourself of all those times that you did do that. So celebrate your progress. Okay, so our moment for inner reflection. Want you to think about, where in your life have you silenced your true voice? And how can you start expressing it again? Maybe you've been quiet in your relationships or at work or even with yourself. Take a moment to think about one area where you'd like to speak up and be more true to who you are. And our Whispers of Wisdom segment. Again, I'm big on quotes. So here's a quote from Brene Brown that resonates with today's episode. It's authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. The more we let go of expectations from others, the closer we get to our authentic selves. And it takes practice, my friends. Trust me, it takes practice. And it's something that I have been working on regularly. I am much more willing to speak up now and say no when I mean no. And even if it's not going to set well with somebody, I still have to be true to me. Your empowerment action for this episode. This week, I want you to practice saying no to something that doesn't feel aligned with your true self. It could be a social event, could be an obligation, or even a task at work. When you say no, remind yourself that you're honoring your voice. You deserve to be heard, and it starts with small, intentional steps. Thank you so much for joining me on your journey and listening to this episode of Journey to Self with Sandy Bartlett. I hope today's conversation has inspired you to take another step toward embracing your authentic self. Remember, your journey is unique and you deserve to live it fully. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review if you feel led to do so, and share it with others who might also benefit. And until next time, stay true to you.